Hello there, Aquarius, and welcome to my channel, Joy to the World. I am your reader, Melissa Joy. Funny, this card keeps falling at me, and we're going from the bottom of the decks to get the underlying of what's really going on. This week's readings are about healing and coming out of the mirage, coming out of the lockdown dream. Because when you're in a dream state, not talking lucid dreaming, but when you're in the dream state, you're not in control. You're subject to whatever's going on and seeing how it plays out. They're talking about a shift here of moving out of that and into what? Well, in the underlying, we have the Ace of Cups. We have the deceit going on, which is blocking the door to the spirit. Can you see those? Pulling the curtain back, kind of like the ashes, dizzery stuff, and getting you into your truth versus the reality of what's been going on. So you might have had serious heartache and head games of like, what have I done wrong? How is this working? You know, there was enough going on in life, maybe externally, to keep you encouraged and keep you going. Like for me, helping others step into their victory was very powerful because there wasn't any going on in mine. And that's not why I did it. You don't think that way. I mean, this is from the time I was a tiny age, a young age. So some of you, this might have been lifelong up till now, right? And learning a new way. We've shifted into the age of Aquarius, this time of plasma, right? Where we've moved out of the earthen state where you make it, you force it, you hammer it down, you work through the systems and the illusions and like the sliding scale of life and kind of the caste systems and those sort of things where it means that's the place that you start out in life. That's where you'll always be. Your limited life, you know, that type of energy. But that has created this like fountain of blood, this sacrificial energy of literally like getting blood from a turnip, living out of your own energy, and it just kind of begins to diminish through evaporation, exhaustion, some frustration too. I was wondering how all this could take place and how could it ever be. And I heard the whispers before it began, is wondering how the other half lives. And this was the card at the bottom that said we're going to read the bottoms and then we're going to move into this. So that refuge, where life feels like it embraces you, it accepts you, it appreciates you, it loves you. People come into your life that you don't have to be like, is this safe? Is this going to happen like before? That old karmic stuff of having to be so on guard and careful. Not just in survivorship, but like the predatory eat or be eaten type of thing, and moving out of that, getting into the truth of your power and the ease of living. That's what your energy is for. It's here to not to be squandered through having to protect and be the warrior and go to war, but coming into a peaceable kingdom, a kingdom of refuge, a kingdom that is creative and facilitating of life. That this is dark, and as you can see, even in the dark or in the shadows or whatever else, there's just an opening of like, oh, look what's up here, oh, look what's over there. There's no intimidation, no trepidation, no fear. She's rising up from behind them. I have wind here, so I'm having to kind of station her. She's just going, she's like, hello, that's what we're talking about. Okay, so delivering us out of fear because, okay, it makes sense. We're going to go to what's behind them because deceit, that reality is blocking your truth. So let's get in your truth. This door to spirit, that help is on the way. Things have been trying to reach you. Life is trying to reach down and just like all this magnificence coming your way to bring life. But you've had to be in that state so long that these two, when it comes down to three, they have the majority. Can you see what I'm saying? So we do have the power of choice, and you can be like, you know what, those are lies. I'm not buying into that. I'm not letting that into my headspace. I recognize those are just suggestions of your life will never be any good. That'll always be the way your children are, and or you know, you can't get ahead no matter how hard you try. 2 steps forward, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. All that crap. You might hear it, but you don't have to swallow it, and you can be like, I'm seeing bits of progress. I know we're moving ahead. It might feel like we haven't, but we are getting there. I do see a difference when I look back from a year ago. I do see a difference from 4 years ago, you know, things like that. That type of dialogue and connection with yourself going on, as opposed to having to be all like being triggered, being activated in that protective mode. Do you see what I mean? Because then the nervous system, it can't be in the sympathetic and the parasympathetic at the same time, in the relax and rest or in the fight or flight. It's one or the other. It's one or the other. And in the refuge, we're going to have the relax and rest. That energy that's calm so that it can be triggered, so that it can be activated when there is something actually wrong, as opposed to that continual cycle of being stressed, right? So that's the sandwich going on there. Let's get in here with the Ace of Cups and see what it is. Okay, so we have the Two of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, serious money issues. And that could be hardship and struggle, that you don't feel very loved. Like, not, I don't have food, I don't feel loved. No, the hard work of trying to even get food on the table or a roof over your head, there isn't a lot of love or flow left. You're drained and you're drowning and you're drying and you're dying. Is that how it feels? Is that what you're going through? Maybe these are different people. Maybe these are different layers in one experience. Some of you have been to the crack ass of hell. Thank goodness for Dolphin Spirit coming in. So here, you can put these two together and phase this one out. These are like, that's like that old nerve, that old cobweb getting you trapped, tying your money up, keeping it, that somehow it seems to not be there in time. And if it's not there in time, that wipes you out, that can cancel you out, that can evict you, that can put you off, that can put you into taxation, into interest, and furthering and furthering and furthering you down that spiral of the financial difficulty. But you're like, dur, 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 there's another card behind it, the Ten of Pentacles. Look at that. So this is like pestilence. These are things that are preying upon you, that your life gets sacrificed so that something else can live that only feeds off of other people's lives. So being able to differentiate and determine what is your friend or what is your foe. So your system, like back over here at that deceit, seems to be faulty right now, and you don't know heads, tails, up, down. So maybe you got spun by a trauma. Maybe you got caught off guard. Maybe you got sucked into an abuser like I did. Maybe there was a sudden loss of your parent or somebody else, you know, and it's been hard to get a grip on that facet or that strand of your life. And that allowed this to kind of come in and hem you in and pin you up, and also call your heart into question. Cause you to question your motives of why you would want money or funding. That yes, life will be free and easy. Is that a bad thing? Oh, I'm going to be a bad person if I have less money. No. You're just going to be more of who you are without the stress, struggle, strain, the drying, the desert, the drowning. Hello? That seems like a healthy person to me. We blasted up on that, right? And it's totally like pushing this out when we got the 3. When we got 75% vote, that is now a passing grade, my friend. And that is allowing, I see it's funny, they're having a struggle because it keeps trying to close up. You know what? That's going to help you rise up out of here. Rise up out of these old things, these old like swamps of sorrows, and getting into true bountiful happiness, because this is a card of happiness. That's what wealth is. It embodies everything, your happiness, your health, balanced relationships that you don't have to work at or cognize, and therefore recognize that your system can be imbalanced. Your nervous system can detect things of like, I'm getting a little stressed or a little tired. I might be spending a little too much time around these people. Not that they're bad. It's just about what fits you in your flow at this moment, this second, this time, so that you flourish, that you stay in the bounty of who you are, that you stay in that balance, and that you can continue to trust yourself and the guidance that yourself is giving you, as opposed to this old stuff that was going on right here, right? Vote for yourself, my friend. Vote for yourself, and don't be confused. It's not more options and looking out there, trying a different this or a different that. There's nothing wrong with you. And there aren't things wrong with your decisions. It's the conditions. Wondering, am I wrong? How is this going to turn out? Oh, it might turn out like last time, or maybe you go to a friend when you're hurting or you're scared instead of going to yourself. And then their seeds start getting planted in it. And they're don't have to be a bad friend, but they might be somebody who's not rooted and grounded in faith. Faith is the belief in yourself, the desire for things to get better, right? Otherwise, it's futility. Faith or futility, which is it? Run around the mulberry bush, or that I'm getting out of this financial debt. I'm getting out of this hole. I'm moving forward. I'm making the way. I'm making progress. You see? Okay. So refuge, she's like, that's all it is. We put this energy in, right? This is all beautiful. This is support, was what they're telling me for the whole reading of the healing. This is that coming in about making a new way. Making a new way. It's kind of like the stars wanting to talk to you. Maybe if you haven't explored astrology before, you might want to now. It's getting quite hot out here. I've waited forever to have space and peace to be able to record. And I don't have any way to pin up my hair, so we'll just sit here, figure this out. It's sweltering. But getting into those safe spaces, the dream spaces, the creation spaces of your heart. Some of you, it's like unicorn power, which means if you're someone that you've had things come chop you down to size, maybe take your wings, take your dreams, and make you believe this is all you ever be. Maybe you got enslaved, you got ensnared, you got trapped up in horrible cycles that were really nightmarish. Okay? There's this beautiful new energy, this enchantment coming in. Now that element of sacrifice, there's that drowning, remember? Of having to become suspicious, having to take that death grip to hold on to anything so that you could survive and make it out. You're like, how do I release that? Like, look at my shoulders. How do I release that? How do I reset my nervous system, my vagal nerve, to where it's tuned and toned? You know, where it isn't the distressing signal and the alarm being sounded every 5 seconds going off in my brain, things burning down, spinning out. How do I get back to this natural state that when things seem to rise up, when we get up close, I just put on my happy face and not like fake it, because your body will let you know if you're faking it. But no, getting your system, your soul in tuned with your choices and your decisions. Like, okay. Like we had a collective reading that said it's a snag, not a snare. So the snag is like, okay, how do we get around this? As opposed to like, oh my God, this always happens. When's it ever going to change? And then before you know it, you get snared. And the snare's by a fowler who's going to come along and put you on their dinner plate and feed off of you, okay? Like that Black Widow energy that was over here. And then it makes you question your own heart, whether you're loved or not. Makes you question, big dream. There is a big improvement coming for you, my friend. Big improvement, leaps and bounds in this area. I agree with that. I bring that in, that you could know yourself fully and completely and just have that natural restoration where you come back united with your breath and you feel like yourself again. You feel like yourself again. And from there is where the magic stems forth. That is powerful, powerful stuff. Bringing you back to life, into your truth, into your body and your being. Because being is a fruit of amming. Knowing who you are and beginning to experience it around you, seeing it around you, holding it in your hands, tasting it, touching it. This whole new world. But all of a sudden, when you step into this magic, you don't come back into this darkness, the infernal darkness, the nightmare. That's not a pipe dream, friend. All right. Hang on. Some didn't like that, but that's all right. We're just going to go with this. I feel like things are getting topsy-turvy or twisty around, but that's all right. So hopefully some of this peep looking in has helped you take a closer look, and you can go through your feelings with yourself and process this. I wish you well, and I wish peace and healing to your nervous system, that you can begin to enjoy the world that has been inside you all along, coming forth out here where we can all see it, where we can celebrate with you about your goodness, not to take anything from you, but to celebrate you, to support you and say, hey, we love you. We love you. So let's chat down in the comments. Let me know what's going on down there, visual or verbal. Give me something in the chat. All right, help this like, rise it up to the top, okay? Tap, tap, touch. Dance on that button, whatever you gotta do. James Brown it, please kiss yourself and help it rise up to the top. And if you enjoyed this, subscribe to my channel. All right, we'll talk again soon. Love you.